And they came because they were motivated with three things. By three things. Number one, they were motivated by David's past. They had heard about David. They had heard of his manner and his person. They had heard that he was a prince among men. They had heard that he would be marked among thousands and tens of thousands. That there was something special about him. Something that set him apart from other men. Ah, yes, I have heard about the Lord Jesus. I have heard that he's the fairest of 10,000, that he's the rose of Sharon, that he's the bright and morning star, and he cannot be found anywhere else among the sons of men. Haven't we heard about Jesus? Haven't we heard about the wonder of his person, the majesty of his countenance, the tender compassion of his eye, the gloriousness of his manner, the graciousness of his speech, and the wonder of his love? Yes, they had heard about David. They had heard about his person. They had also heard about his battles. They had heard one day that the whole of Israel had been put to shame before the uncircumcised Goliath. That Saul trembled, that Jonathan trembled. Both had been mighty men of war, but now cowardice had come, and their strong bloodstream had thinned, and they ran from the enemy. And they had heard for 40 days Goliath had held up the God of heaven to ridicule, and had put shame upon every true Israelite of God. They'd heard about a young man who came from the sheepfold, a young man with a sling and a stone, a young man with a staff in his hand, of ruddy and fair countenance. And he went out alone, and he defied the giant, and he laid him low, and he took off his head, and God won for Israel and wrought for Israel a great victory. Have you not heard when the great giant of hell came out and reviled mankind? Have you not heard how every man had thin blood, and there was not found among the sons of men anyone who could take on the Beelzebub of the pit, the Satan of the wonder world of damned spirits? And then there came one of ruddy countenance. The purity of his blood was seen in his very cheeks. There came one from the hills of glory, from his father's house. There came one with love of compassion and wonder in his breast. And he went out and fought the great Goliath of the pit. He staggered up that bloody mountain, that hill of reproach called Calvary. He himself hung stark naked on an accursed tree, bearing shame and scoffing rude. But in his dying, he slew death. He destroyed him that had the power of death, that is to say, the devil, and delivered them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage.